Okay, we're out in the range trying to zero the Arken Zulus 520 R range finding scope on my T122 rimfire using CCI blue subsonic ammunition. I'm looking at the target at 50 yards. I'm using shoot and see targets and we're at base magnification at the moment. I'm going to increase the magnification. That's up to maximum magnification and the image is pretty good. I'm going to see if I can just tweak that. You can see that it's quite focus fussy. However, I'll get some loaded up and we'll try a shot. Okay, I'm just going to aim at the centre of the paper between the 4 targets just to see where this first shot goes. Oh, that's pretty good. Right, I'm going to take another shot aimed at the target now, where I can then use the freeze screen function in the reticle adjust part of the menu. Hopefully we should be able to get zeroed pretty quickly. Okay, we'll fire at this target and see where it happens. Okay. Now unfortunately I cannot access the menu where the recording is on, so you're going to have to bear with me till I get this done. Okay, I'm back recording. Hopefully you can see that I've shifted the reticle from the centre of the target to where the bullet impacted. So I'll take another shot, aiming at the centre of the target and see how we get on. Well, that's not bad. Try another one. Well, that's either side of the red point. Okay, target is shown at 46 metres, which is approximately 50 yards. Now I'm going to try aiming using the pip. Now that's probably the ammunition more than me. Okay, that's reasonable. I'm reasonably happy with that. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. What we need to do now is remove the scope from the rifle and put it back on again and see if it retains the same level of zero as we've seen with those first 3 shots. Okay, I've removed the scope from the rifle and put it back on again. Obviously put it back into the same slot in the Picatinny rail. So let's see how much of any shift there is by having taken the scope off and back onto the rifle. Let's hope it's not much. No. I'm not seeing really any shift. I think certainly at this distance it would be fair to say that you can remove the scope from the rifle, put it back on again and you won't lose zero. That's quite good, quite pleased with that. I am going to slightly adjust the zero, which means switching off the recording again. I've adjusted the zero. I'm going to try, that target's getting a little bit messy now, so I'll try this one. Yeah, That's good enough. And if I range that target, it's showing 49 yards. I've changed from meters to yards. Okay, that's good. What we're going to do now is move the target out to 100 yards and try the ballistic calculator. Okay, I've moved the target out to 100 yards. And one of the questions was, can you see two bullet holes in the target at 100 yards? I'm okay, I'm on base. Okay, scope magnification, I've turned the scope magnification up to ×20, and the answer is yes. You can clearly see the holes that I shot in the first target, and the single shot I put the target to the right is still quite visible. And if I look in the pip, it becomes more visible. I'm going to try a different magnification so let you see that. That's it, 20, 17.5. 15, 12.5, 7.5, and 5. And on 5 you can still see the red dot in the center of the target in the main field of view at base magnification. It's a bit easier to see when you look at it in the pip. But yeah, that's not bad. I'm going to go back up now to maximum magnification, and I'm going to try to use the ballistic calculator. Let's see what we get. 100 yards spot on, and I've got this in dial-in mode, so there's my aiming point. It'd help if I'd loaded around. There we go. It's not bad. That's just below the red dot. It's inside the first ring. Now again, there's ammunition variability to be considered here, so I'll take a couple more and see what that looks like. That's even closer. It's slightly higher up the ring and closer to the red. That is pretty damn close. I think those would all be headshot rabbits at 100 yards. I'm using a ballistic coefficient of 0.12, scope height above the bore. I'm using 2.75, and I haven't even measured that because that's a distance I had set up in a other ballistic calculator, but I am pretty happy with that. I don't think I'd be doing too much, and again you can see the bullet holes. I don't think I'd really want to tweak the ballistic calculator. We could, but I'm not going to do it just now, because now what we're going to do is wait for the darkness to come along and see what we can see in night vision mode. Maybe look at some rabbits. I'm not worried about shooting anything, but just to see what rabbits in different ranges look like, and maybe something a bit bigger, maybe a fox or a deer at somewhat longer ranges again, to see what they look like using the IR. But I'm pretty impressed with that ballistic calculator. It's getting pretty close. Now I understand the air rifle guys will maybe look to get it closer than that, but for a rimfire shooter shooting rabbits, to be able to shoot a rabbit at 100 yards with subsonic ammunition is not bad going in. With that ballistic calculation, that would be good enough to do that. So I'm quite happy with that. And if I switch the rangefinder mode off, you can see if I put the reticle back down to the target I was aiming at, you can see, and I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll change to holdover mode. Okay, I've changed the scope to holdover mode, and if I range that same target 100 yards, I hit the button again. I've done it the wrong way around, haven't I? Okay, that's it ranged, and now just at the very bottom of the white paper you can see the red aiming mark. If I bring up a little bit you'll see it more clearly. So I would need to put that red aiming mark on the centre of the target, and when I'm doing that, if I look in the pip window, the centre of the pip reticle is exactly bang on the middle of the target. Really, really great system. As for the image quality, we're up at 20 times, that's 4 times digital zoom on the main screen, and double that again, times 40 in the pip. And yes, there is some pixelation or lack of clarity in the pip, but on the main screen, at times 20, it's really pretty good, and there are not many digital scopes that I'm aware of that could give you as good a picture at that as that at times 20. Perhaps some of the 4K scopes could. This is a full HD scope, but the 4K scopes are not as good at night. They kind of lose performance quite a bit when you get into night vision mode. They do generally have a sharper daytime image because they've got a 4K sensor, and this is really only a full HD sensor. But having said that, that's a sharper and clearer image at 100 yards than you would get with the lower magnification day-night scopes like the Alpix and the C50.